Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Alpha Life here. We are gonna be moving on to, one of our last videos for the Min Meter character, for the Min Meter, the well-rounded Min Meter. And this time we are going to be running level 3 missions, and we're gonna be using this beautiful, amazing, astonishing, incredible hurricane. So yeah, let's move on to see the feat and what we will be working on. So, first of all, let's begin by setting up the things in the high slots. Sorry about that. I was thinking about mentioning really quickly that if we want to run level 3 missions, we can actually start running the level 1 missions either with the slasher or with a rifter. Then we can move on to level 2 missions using the Rupture, which will be incredibly good for running them. And for level 3 missions, once we have unlocked them, because we need to get pretty good standings with the people we're running the missions, we can finally move in to this hurricane, this amazing hurricane. And let's just really quickly check out the feat. We're gonna be starting off with 650 millimeter medium gallium cannons and one very small TE 2100 ample-light missile launcher. Why? Just so that it can offer us a little bit extra damage. Next up, we're gonna move on to the 50 mn cold gas enduring Microwarpdrive, enduring so that it can help us a little bit with the capacitor stability. Next, we're gonna be moving to two optical compact tracking computers and one medium compact PV acid cap battery. Then for the low slots, we're gonna move on to a medium 1A enduring armor repairer, a Tech 2 damage control. Why? Because it's a lot better than the Tech 1 and it's a lot cheaper than the IFAA. Next up, we're gonna move to three counterbalanced compact gyrostabilizers because we can get quite a lot of these modules from just ratting, even low-sec belt ratting. We will be able to get these modules. And finally, to help us with those resistances, a reactive armor hardener, since the missions will keep us hitting different ships and different factions. We're gonna want to have those resistances as available as possible, and this really helps up adapt to any resistance that we need to tank. Then in the rigs, we're only going to be using three medium capacitor control circuit ones, and that rounds up this nice cheap little ship for the 62.1 million ISK that it's going to cost. As you can see, a lot cheaper than the Gallente equivalent that we used in the video, mainly because that one used mostly Tech 2. But this is going to be a lot more accessible. Of course, you can take one the Myrmidon and make that fit a lot cheaper, similar to this price. But the one we used in the video was very much Tech 2 and a lot more expensive. So let's see how we're going to be running these level 3 missions. We're gonna want to go to the agency, to agents and missions, and then to security agents. And since we will be running level 3s, unfortunately I didn't get a level 3 mission hub that could allow us to get two level 3 missions at the same time, but well, that's okay. No problems, no worries, let's move on. So, how we're gonna be doing this is we're gonna use the Eve University page as a guide to tell us what is going to happen. So let's just copy real quick the title of the mission up to the objective. Let's Control C, move on to the Eve University webpage. I'm gonna put up the image here, and we're just gonna copy it exactly as it says. So we're gonna move on to Portal to War 2 out of 5. The thing is, we are going to be fighting a Mar Empire. So that's not the best, and we can see down below that we will have a big standing loss, 0.24, and because we just ran the Sisters of Eve Epicarch, we don't really want to lose any standings right now, so we're just going to decline it. The first time you decline a mission in every 8 hours, you ain't gonna have no problem. So let's move on to the second try. Again, let's copy it into our Eve University page because this is actually a great resource. I'm gonna absolutely leave it in the description below. please consider using it, especially if you want to be careful around those standings. If, like me, you buy some stuff from Jira or go to Jira to sell some stuff. So in this one, we're actually going to be running against rogue drones. And you know what that means? We're going to accept the mission, so we're not going to have any standing loss. And then we're going to go into our inventory to actually get some EM ammunition. We're going to be using the medium EM ammunition. Let's just get around 3000. And we need some light missiles, light EM missiles. So let's get around 500 because missiles also don't use that many. And I'm just gonna leave the warriors because they are mainly to help us with anything that might get close to us. And yeah, let's see how we're going to be running this level 3 mission. Just like in the Galente equivalent of this video, I'm gonna be running a few missions and then we're gonna go out with the other feat for this video. As you can see, I just got this hurricane and we're about to see how well it does. Let me just get all my modules on the order that I like having them. Oh yeah, and one thing that's important mentioning, let's just simulate the feat a little bit so that we can see how the cap stability is going to work with this one. So, if you can see, with the Microwarpdrive off, we are actually cap stable, and then if we turn off the armor repair and just turn on the Microwarpdrive, we are also cap stable. Thankfully, our guns and our missiles don't use any capacitor. Of course, our reactive armor hardener and our tracking and hand tracking computers do consume a little bit, but not nearly as much. So that's actually going to help us quite a lot. Of course, we have some optimal range scripts and some tracking speed scripts because, well, we mainly want to be attacking from afar, and our artillery is not exactly the best at tracking targets. If we are going to be running against frigates, they are going to have a very tough time. That's why we are also going to have our little drones. That's why I went for small drones. Also, I do not believe that we can actually fly a full flight of medium drones. As you can see, 40 megabit bandwidth means we cannot fly a full flight of 5 medium drones. So that's why I said to myself, well, it's better if we go for the smaller ones, and they will really help us a lot with the frigates. So let's take the acceleration gate, and as soon as we see what we will be facing and how far away are they, we are going to select our script for the tracking computers. So yeah, let's get ready to rumble. So we have some sentry towers. Apparently EM is also the best one, and we have these drones. So they are not as far away as I thought they were going to be, and they are almost actually within range. So I'm gonna go for the tracking speed scripts, activate them, and get a little bit closer. We have some more incoming. So let's start targeting the first one, 38 kilometers and 32 kilometers. So we should not have a lot of trouble, and our optimal is 13 kilometers. Okay, good. So I think I'm gonna go for the ones on the left first. And as you can see, the problem that I have already seen, we forgot our mobile tractor unit. So I'm just gonna really quickly go get it, and I will continue the video once we are back. So we are back from getting our MTU, and I have decided to take out the tracking speed script. That way we get a little bonus to optimal range and tracking speed. So we should be able to hit a little bit further. So let's see with our medium gallium cannons how well we can actually hit these drones. Okay, that's not a lot of damage, but let's see how well we fare on the next shot. Grazing shots. Okay, so we need a little bit closer range, quite a lot closer range. Okay, penetrates. That was more than good enough. Okay, so apparently all the rest of the drones are starting to come towards us. So let's start engaging them, and let's leave our MTU. Then, as usual, we're gonna save the location of our MTU as number 1 so that we remember to come get it first. A few grazing shots. Okay, hitting shots, hit. Oh, that was the missile. I was thinking that was a little bit low damage. But apparently we are doing alright. So yeah, so far so good. Of course, we are just barely starting out. So I think I'm just gonna take this chance here to throw a little bit of a missile to these guys, see if they can actually come my way, and keep taking them out. So far we haven't really taken any damage, but we, I believe, shouldn't have any problems taking the damage from these rooms. I'm gonna go back to the MTU now to orbit it. Hopefully, me just launching random missiles at drones is good enough to get their attention, or maybe it won't be, but we'll find out. So yeah, as you can see, we're doing okay. We're doing okay damage. Of course, we could do a lot better if we take to the ship. Of course, that would increase the price quite a lot, but well, as well, it would also reduce the time investment for every mission. And as you may remember, a lot of people like playing on a ISK per hour basis. So that's not necessarily so terrible. No, these guys are not coming for us. So let's go get them. Let's just remember, of course, like with the Galente video, remember that if you're running level 3 missions or level 4 missions, eventually someone is going to come to your mission hub and try to grief you, try to destroy your MTU, and try to escalate the violence so that you may engage him, at which point he will be able to fight you and destroy your ship without any Concord intervention. So just remember, be careful with that. Be careful around these mission hubs, especially if you're running with the MTU. You really want to not be taken out by griefers. So just watch out in that scan, in that D-scan for combat scanner probes, and well, as long as there are no combat scanner probes, you should be absolutely good to go. Now, artillery guns do take a little bit of a time, and I do have another feat that I actually use a lot more for running these missions. Of course, it's a little more expensive, but I am also able to use it to run 5 out of 10s, and that would be the Cyclone feat. It's around 120 some million. It's a little bit more expensive than this because I have actually fitted it with 2 artillery guns, so that I can do a little bit extra damage, and the tanky has to be Tech 2, and the damage modules will like Tech 2, and mostly everything, almost everything is Tech 2. But the good thing about that feat is that, well, we are able to take down the 5 out of 10s, so that's why I really enjoy it. However, I wanted to give you guys a budget version so that you could actually start running these level 3 missions as soon as possible, especially if you have been taking my advice and started running these level 1 and level 2 missions with the feats that we have already seen in this series. I really do recommend them because the LP that you get from level 3 missions is the best, and you need to do those level 1 and level 2 missions to actually get to level 3s. So yeah, as you can see, most of our feats we can use for plenty of things. This one I am going to attempt to use for 5 out of 10s. I am not sure how well it's going to do, but well, we will definitely try it, and if I do get one, I will definitely record it and bring it to you guys. But in the meantime, please do use it for running those level 3 missions, and before you attempt to run a level 5 out of 10, do consider that it would be better if you have the ship already paid for. Of course, fortunately, the good thing is that this is a decently cheap feat, so you shouldn't take too long paying for it, especially if you're running these level 3s. But, well, always, as usual, be careful with the ships that you undock and consider that you are likely to lose them eventually. But that is not a problem, especially with cheap feats, with these cheap ships. That's the great thing about them, that it doesn't really matter that much if we lose them because they pay for themselves really fast. So let's take down the, okay, I need some stuff from let's see in the university page, where is this thing that I need to destroy? Lesser strong hide shield. Okay, I think that's the one that we need to destroy. Okay, one hit. Let's see. Yeah, there is something there, so let's just go get it. Of course, the good thing is that we are cap stable with only the Microwarpdrive running, and we could take these guns out. They don't really do a lot of damage, but, well, it's not a bad idea. If you get any damage issues, consider leveling up your armor skills, because we have mainly been using shields for going against Sanchez, but with these missions, since we're gonna be getting a lot more different kinds of enemies, that's why I preferred going for the armor. And because we are using the artillery guns instead of using something else like missiles with the cyclone, which is what I normally use or what I like using, well, it's not so different from the normal training queue. So far we are good, and we should get some good salvage from this mission, since this is a rogue drone mission, and those give us really good salvage. So now let's just pick up the MTU. Hopefully, well, three, four, five, six. Okay, there are still some wrecks missing from the MTU, but yeah, I'm going to cut the video here so that you guys don't have to wait around for me to get back at my MTU and get everything back. And I will get to you guys in a second. So I am still running the missions, and well, I just wanted to show you guys that we have gotten something in the mission called Silence the Informant. And as you can see, we got some loot for 15 million ISK. And why is this? Well, this is the 13, almost 14 million ISK skill book called Molecular Engineering. In this one, you might get some skill books, and you will get the Marines. And some of these are AM to manufacture drones. So we're gonna take all of these because that's great. No, not enough cargo space. So what do we do in these situations? Well, that's fairly easy and fairly simple. This standard ammunition we don't use. These hybrid weapons ammunitions we don't really use. So we're just gonna take it all out. And what else? We have some omnidirectional tracking links. We're not going to use that. Kinetic shield amplifier. I don't think we're going to use that. Maluk rocket launcher. No. So I'm just gonna jettison all of this stuff. Of course, fortunately, we have it organized by price. So by estimated price. So yeah, but this we do want. So, as you can see, really worth it running these missions. Let's see if we get anything else in this one. No, okay. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that, well, we are looking good, looking actually pretty good for paying off this ship. So, and this was definitely a lucky, unusual drop. So don't think that every time you run this mission you get 15 million ISK, but this is definitely a nice surprise that you might get every once in a while. So that's why it's also very nice running these level 3 missions, plus the added benefit that you get your LP points and you get your rewards. Also, you get some money from bounties. Of course, it's not a lot, it's really not a lot. If you want some quick ISK from bounties, I recommend you go low sec belt ratting better. But as you can see, we can definitely make a good buck with this level 3 mission running. So, we are done running a few good amount of missions. As you can see, I have run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we are going to get into our Salvage Taloir. And get ready to undock while I show you this salvaging feat. Well, you may remember in the Galante series we actually have a Catalyst Salvager. In this one, we could have gone for the Thrasher, but since we are already using one Thrasher for belt ratting and another for combat exploration, I thought we would give the Talwar a little bit more extra love and use it for salvaging. As you will see, it's actually pretty good. We're going to start off by having 7 Salvager 1s. Of course, you can manufacture them yourself or buy them. They are not that expensive and absolutely worth it because, well, having a ton of them just makes the whole process a lot faster. Next, we're going to go to a 5 mn cold gas enduring microwarpdrive, 2 small compact PV acid cap batteries, and 3 Mark 1 compact capacitor flux coils. So this is so that we can keep those salvagers running for as long as possible and we don't have any problems, especially considering that we are going to be using a micro warp drive. Thankfully, our micro warp drive makes us really fast so that we can get to those wrecks a lot faster. But yeah, this is definitely a very nice little destroyer that we can use for that salvaging process. And you know what? I think I'm gonna give it a clean because it looks a little bit dirty. I don't know if I have mentioned this before, but if you go to the personalization tab to clean ship, you will see that it becomes a little bit shinier and a little bit cleaner. So, as usual, we are just going to start salvaging all of this stuff as fast as possible. Of course, I'm not gonna make you guys watch through all the entirety of my salvaging run, but I will cut the video here and come back once I am done with this salvaging run so that we can take a good look at how much we have been making from salvaging and why it is or it is not worth doing because it is a little bit extra time. So, we are finally done with our salvaging of these 3 missions that we ran. I had around 5 MTU locations because some of these missions have 2 to 3 rooms. And let's just check how much did we get in total. We got almost 2 million just from running those three missions. Of course, we were able to loot all of them, but we were able to salvage almost 2 million. So this is on top of the bounties, this is on top of the payouts for actually completing the missions, and this is on top of the LP points that we get from them. So as you can see, as an alpha, it's pretty good enough pay. It's an activity that's mainly really calm and quiet, unless you get annoyed by griefers. But other than that, it's really quiet and a really nice activity that I really enjoy quite a lot, especially after a long day at work or something like that. It's really nice to just wind down. Maybe you don't want to go to low sec, maybe you were taken out in a gate camp or something like that, and you just want to get into level 3 mission running because it's a really chill activity. And as you can see, you don't need to invest a ton of ISK to be able to afford it. It's really nice and the payouts are also really good. Also, this salvaging equipment that we get is used in industry to make rigs, to manufacture rigs. So eventually you are going to make a profit out of it, even if it's not specifically quickly. You can even manufacture some of these rigs yourself. Of course, the Tech 1, because as an alpha you cannot manufacture Tech 2 rigs, but we have been getting some pretty good payouts with all the activities that we have been doing. I have been amazed. I looked at the folder of things that we have for this Alpha Life series and for this Min Matter Alpha Life series, and well, we are getting some very good ISK, and fortunately, well, we're gonna keep going, except that we're going to move on for the next episode to moving stuff into trade hubs to looking how to trade, just like with the Galente side of things. Our last video is going to be a little bit more about logistics, and well, if you have liked the content that I have made, please consider giving me a like. If you find it in your heart, consider giving me a subscribe, maybe leave a comment. If you want me to try any feats, if you like me to try any activities, please do leave me a comment and let me know. I will. Sometimes I don't check the comments for a week. I'm sorry about that, guys. Since I pre-upload the videos, sometimes they premiere and I am not well on top of it, and I am not on top of the comments. But I promise to check them at least once a week. So anything you want to tell me, guys, please do let me know. If you want me to try any feats, please do let me know. And this has been the Alpha Life. Thank you also very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.